Coco Gauff's historic race. Youngest woman ever to reach Beijing and Wuhan finals at just 21. 2025 was already a year to remember for Coco Gauff, the young American phenom who had burst onto the tennis scene years earlier and refused to fade. But as autumn rolled across Asia, something began to stir in her, a momentum so fierce it felt like destiny. From the courts of Beijing to the lights of Wuhan, Gauff didn't just play matches. She wrote chapters of history, point by point, rally by rally, with that fearless fire that had made her a global icon. By October, she had done what no woman in the open era had achieved at her age, reached both the Beijing and Wuhan finals in the same season, at just 21 years old. But to understand the miracle of 2025, you have to understand the woman who made it possible, the rise before the race. Coco Gauff was never just another tennis prodigy. From the moment she burst onto the global stage at Wimbledon as a 15-year-old, defeating Venus Williams in her debut, the world had seen something rare. Not just talent, not just confidence, but destiny. Her journey wasn't smooth, early defeats, crushing expectations, the weight of fame before adulthood. But Gauff turned every stumble into fuel. By the time she reached her 20s, she had already transformed from the future of tennis into its present. 2025 began like a storm. A top 5 ranking, deep runs at the Grand Slams, and a growing aura of maturity around her game. But it was the Asian swing that would turn her season from spectacular to historic. The Beijing Blaze. The China Open in Beijing had always been a proving ground. The crowds were massive, the competition fierce, and the atmosphere electric. From her first match, Gauff was untouchable. She moved across the court like music, power and rhythm in perfect harmony. Her first-round opponent, a top Chinese wildcard, came armed with local energy and fan support. But Gauff silenced the stadium with 20 winners in under an hour. Then came the big names. Caroline Garcia, Elena Rybakina, and Ons Jabeur all fell in Gauff's path. Each match told a story. Each set carried a lesson. Against Rybakina, she faced thunderous serves but met them with steel. Against Jabeur, she battled artistry with athleticism, chasing drop shots like a dancer and turning defense into domination. By the time she reached the Beijing final, Coco wasn't just playing well, she was playing fearlessly. Commentators started whispering what fans already knew. This isn't a rising star anymore. This is a woman stepping into greatness. Though she fell just short in the final, a thrilling 3-set duel against Aryna Sabalenka, her performance was nothing short of phenomenal. And yet, as she lifted her runner-up trophy, she smiled. Because deep down, she knew Wuhan was waiting. The flight to Wuhan. The journey from Beijing to Wuhan wasn't long, but it felt symbolic, like passing through the gates of destiny. The media buzzed. Social media exploded. Headlines read, Coco Gauff's fearless run continues. From Beijing to Wuhan, can she go back-to-back? Coco arrived in Wuhan with purpose. There was no sign of fatigue, only fire. While others rested, she trained. While others analyzed draws, she visualized victory. She was becoming what every great athlete eventually becomes, a force of momentum. Her coach said it best. She doesn't chase matches anymore. Matches come to her. Wuhan awakens. The Wuhan Open 2025 was a spectacle. Night matches under glowing blue light, roaring crowds, and a field stacked with champions. But Coco Gauff was in a world of her own. In her opener, she crushed Laura Siegemund, barely breaking a sweat. In the quarterfinals, she outplayed Jasmine Paolini, her speed defying physics. And when she stormed into final, it felt inevitable, like gravity pulling history into place. Her opponent? The ever-composed Jessica Pegula, a fellow American mentor and occasional rival. The two had shared countless moments, both on and off the court. Now, destiny had drawn them together again, for what Chinese fans were calling the American duel. The world tuned in. Wuhan stood still. The stage was set for a match that would echo across continents. The clash that defined the moment. The final began under shimmering lights and nervous anticipation. Pegula, experienced, calm, tactical. Gauff, explosive, emotional, unyielding. The first set belonged to Pegula. Her precision was surgical, her control absolute. She used her veteran calm to absorb Gauff's pace, turning power into counterpunching artistry. 6-3 Pegula. But nobody in Wuhan doubted what was coming next. Because Coco Gauff doesn't lose, she learns. In the second set, she adjusted, mixing spins, attacking earlier, moving Pegula side to side. The crowd could feel it, that signature rhythm building like a song ready to explode. At 5-4, she broke Pegula's serve with a ferocious forehand down the line. Set all. The decider? A masterpiece. Pegula played near-perfect tennis. Gauff matched every shot. They traded breaks, sweat, and screams of effort. At 5-4, Coco served for history. Ace. Forehand winner. Long rally. Gauff's defense turning impossible into inevitable. Match point. She tossed the ball, swung, and fired an ace right on the tee. Game. Set. Match. Coco Gauff. 3-6, 6-4, 6-4. The queen of the Asian swing. As the final ball bounced off the court, Gauff dropped to her knees. The crowd erupted into a standing ovation that seemed to shake the night. She had done it. The youngest woman ever to reach both Beijing and Wuhan finals, back-to-back, at just 21 years old. Pegula embraced her at the net, smiling despite defeat. "You're built different," she said with a laugh. "You made me fight for every inch." Coco smiled back, breathless but glowing. "You made me believe I could." Legacy in motion. For the rest of the season, Coco carried the confidence of Wuhan into every match. Her aura had shifted. Players no longer saw her as a prodigy. They saw her as a rival to beat. Sponsors flooded in. Her global fan base exploded. Kids from Miami to Manila were shouting her name on playground courts. But Coco stayed grounded. Between tournaments, she trained harder. She volunteered at tennis academies. She wrote messages to her fans, reminding them that dreams take discipline. Because Coco Gauff's greatest victory wasn't the trophies. It was inspiring belief. Epilogue, the race that never ends. Months later, when she looked back on her 2025 Asian run, Coco smiled quietly. The flights, the fatigue, the fire, it had all been worth it. Standing on that Wuhan court, she had become more than just a player. She had become a symbol of courage, consistency, and a new era of excellence. In tennis, legends aren't built in a day. They're forged across continents, through exhaustion and triumph, through the will to keep going when the body screams stop. And that's what Coco did. She ran the race. Not just a win, but to redefine what it means to be young, fearless, and legendary. At 21, she was already rewriting tennis history. At 22, the world knew she wasn't done yet. Because for Coco Gauff, every tournament is another lap, every victory, another mile, every challenge, another chance to prove that greatness doesn't wait for permission. It simply arrives, just like she did. Trophy sparkles Coco Gauff, the youngest to rule Beijing and Wuhan, the fastest to chase history, the queen of her own race. Thank you for watching. Please don't forget to hit the subscribe button, like, and share. Till next time.